Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in the last video we were working on some greenstones that I needed to finish and sort of reshape some of them so that they were more pleasing, a little bit easier to set, just overall better looking. And I like to finish a greenstone first to try to get the most pattern out of it, and then what I like to do is go back at it and then reshape it for setting. So it's a little bit of a two-step process, and I'm going to show you the stones once more just so we can kind of get ourselves familiar with the greenstones that we're working with, and just show you some of the things that I'm going to try to do to them, and we'll move on from there. Okay, so here's the three stones that we were working on in the last video. This is just another stone I thought I'd include in the video. I'll start with that one. So this stone right here, it's a pretty nice stone. What I've noticed is that it needs a little bit of, we're going to remove some of that material right along this edge just because it's just not that nice. There's not enough hardened greenstone here to finish, and I think it could just be improved a little bit by removing that edge. All in all, this is a really great stone. I think it's got a lot of potential. It just needs a little bit shaved off that side. So we'll put that back. This stone here, it's a nice stone. I think it's got a lot of potential, but it's a little bit tall. And I think that if we remove some of that bottom edge, we can get that stone to sit nicer in a setting, and will overall be better. This stone, I think we need to rotate the bottom edge of it just a little bit, and shift the top upside just a little bit so that the nice pattern sits on top on a straight angle. Right now it kind of sits sideways. If I can show you the cross section, it sort of is slanted a little bit. So what we're going to do is just fix that bottom edge of that stone, make it sit more flat, be a little bit more pleasing. This stone finished, it actually finished a lot taller than I would have liked. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that bottom edge of that stone and just have this stone just sit a little bit lower, and in that way it'll be a lot more pleasing when we go to set it in a setting. So if I can get a different view of this thing. So if I hold it on the side, you can kind of see it's tall and a little bit obtuse. And so we're just going to shape that a little bit lower profile, and that way we'll have a better greenstone. Okay, now that we've gone over some of the changes we're going to make, I'll see you in the studio. Okay, I'm just going to start with this stone right here, and as you can see, it's just got some basalt kind of on that outer edge. If I can get that focus here. So we're just going to remove that outer edge a little bit, and it's just not going to take away that much from this stone, but we're going to end up with a much better greenstone in the end. And so we're just going to take away some of that outer edge and reshape the outline of this stone. That actually took just such a little bit to reshape that stone into one that's just a lot better for setting in jewelry, and I was able to remove that outside edge, which I'm talking about right here, which was just a little bit unpleasing. It just was mostly basalt. And in doing so, I actually made that stone a lot better. After we set that in silver, it's gonna turn out a lot better. So really quite happy with how that turned out. Just a small change made a big difference. Okay, next up we have this stone right here. And as you can kind of see, it does lean a little bit to the side. And we can fix that by reshaping the bottom of the stone and making that stone sit more straight up or face up. Okay, so as you can see, after that correction, that stone sits just a lot better face up, and try to get you some other angle of it. And it's a really attractive stone, and it sits a lot better in the orientation we have it now, and it's just going to be a more pleasing greenstone. Okay, next up we have this greenstone, and you know, if I'm honest, I really just didn't like the way that this one turned out as far as the highness or the tallness of the stone. It just kind of had like an obtuse, funny shape to it. And so what I'm going to attempt to do is just take the best part of the greenstone by taking off quite a bit of the lower part of it. And I'll show you if I get a reference here. But I'd like to take off, you know, quite a bit of the bottom portion of that, so that stone just has the best part of it showing, and it'll sit just a lot more lower profile in the piece. Just really become a really big fan of this greenstone. You know, after making those minor adjustments to the bottom of this thing, it really turned out awesome. I can show you some different angles of it. But when this gets set into a bezel, it's going to be absolutely great. If I can zoom in here. So it's just got a lot of character to it. So we've got that black pattern a little bit on this side. I roll this around. It's just got just marvelous pattern, you know, coming over the top of it now. It turned into literally probably my favorite out of the bunch, just like that. So, but if you look at the bottom here yet, I still got some work to do. You see how sharp those edges are on the bottom yet? So I just have to create that little small bevel around the bottom edge of this so that it sets nice. So I'll do that now, but this thing just turned out just awesome, and I'm really happy with how even with the shape of it, it just turned out great. So just goes to show just a little bit of adjustment on the bottom of that stone can really make a kind of a funny looking stone into a really nice one. Next up we have this stone, and you know, for the most part it's just got it's a taller than it needs to be. It has a lot of basalt underneath the bottom of it, and I'm just going to shorten that up. It's not necessarily orientated too bad, it's pretty much straight up, but it just has a lot of extra basalt, you know, towards the bottom that we just don't need, and I just assume have that gone and have that sit just a little bit lower in the profile of the setting. Okay, yeah, I just finished up this one and it turned out really good. Got a much lower profile on the stone than I started with. And just trying to get the light on this correctly so you can see it. There we go. And it just turned out a lot better than it was. And pretty happy with the pattern. The face-up pattern looks really nice. And this one should set really nicely into a bezel now. So, and I also was able to cut that nice little bevel in the back side of the stone. If you can see it in the video, there we go. So I've got that nice bevel all the way around the stone. And that's the top side view. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased with this one. Turned out really well. Well, that was pretty cool. I just brought these greenstones back up here to take a look at them outside in the daylight. So let's take a look. Here's the first one that I did, and it turned out really good. I was just trying to get rid of a little piece of basalt that was right here along this edge, and I accomplished that pretty fast. It only took just a little bit on the machine, and I was able to get rid of that right away. The stone turned out really nice, and it's going to have a nice face-up appearance once it's set. So, success there. Okay, next up is this stone. Turned out really good. What we were trying to do is just adjust the profile of it, and we did so. We took off quite a bit of that lower portion right here, and you can still see a little bit of that basalt, but that'll definitely be covered up by a bezel, which is my intended setting on this stone. But all in all, this is a really nice, brilliant greenstone. Turned out really good. And just by simply adjusting the bottom portion of the stone, we were able to get a nice greenstone that's going to set nice face up. Next one is the one that really surprised me. How nice it turned out when I finished cutting the bottom of that stone off, this one just turned out really good, turned out to be my favorite. I really like it. It's got this, you know, it was a shape I was a little disappointed with at first, to be honest, and now it just turned out really good. I'm gonna put a bezel probably about up to there on the stone, and you know, it does have kind of a different shape to it, but I think it brings a lot of interest sort of into the stone. I'll move this over just a little. And overall, this is gonna really turn out good, set in a piece. So I could not be more pleased with the way this turned out. And so this was the big surprise. Well, that was fun. Those greenstones turned out really good. Really happy with the result, and super surprised with that last one. It really surprised me how much I like that one. Once I shortened it a little bit, made it more pleasing. So very cool greenstone, very cool result. So if you liked that video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Love to share some more tips and techniques with you. And you know, if you're heading up north this summer or making some plans to go there, do some collecting, tell me how you did. Send me some pictures. Drop me a line in the comment section. I'd love to hear about it. Love to hear about your experience up there, and anything else you're doing in Michigan collecting rocks and that sort of thing. So really glad you watched the video. Really glad you're part of the channel, and we'll see you next time.